Alright, so here's what's going on. The vlog is back, at least for now. So what we're doing is I'm going on a trip with my father to ride bikes. What's up, guys? Yeah, so this is going to be a little bit out of order, only because right now, this video that I'm shooting right this second is the end of the trip. I'm having to do this because I didn't really get an official video at the start like I wanted to. I did do some, but they didn't really line up, so I'm just going to do it right now real quick. I had just got back from FPV Fest, which is Ready Made's event. We hold that every year, and I was there for 2 days. I was filming and attending the event, helping work, and I ended up leaving that event at 2 a.m., 1 or 2 a.m. on Saturday, which was, I had to just go straight to the airport at Cleveland. Once I got to Cleveland, I flew into Atlanta for my layover, and then into Dallas here, and I was picked up, basically ready to go. I just had to get my stuff kind of organized because I didn't know what I was going to take yet. I just brought too much, rather have too much stuff than not enough. And the trip that I'm taking here is a bike trip. It's a dual sport is what it's known as, or adventure riding. And what we do is we drive up to New Mexico. Last time I did it, it was Colorado. We just drove into Colorado and started there. This time we're starting in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We'll get a hotel for the night, and then in the morning we'll wake up, ride our bikes, and keep going. But to start out this video, I'd like to show you kind of my setup. And along the way, I lost a few things, so I don't really have those to show you. That's just part of the trip. You have so much going on that you forget things, especially when you're doing FPV, which that's what I'm going to be doing on this trip, is I'm taking a gear bag with all my quad stuff, which I found out to be, which was way too much stuff. I would have supplemented some of that stuff for more batteries, but I still had quite a bit of stuff. So with that being said, let's get started with what I did ride, first of all. So I was riding the KTM 990 Adventure R. I've never actually ridden this bike. I'd ridden it one time up and down the street when he first got it. But so for me, this was a learning experience. I've never ridden a 500-pound dirt bike, basically. It's a badass dirt bike, basically fuel injected, V-twin, 990cc, 4-stroke. It's a lot of fun to ride. Tons of power, tons of braking. It is heavy. It's 500 pounds. And then you put all your riding gear on, plus a 250-pound man, plus the panniers, plus the full gear. This thing gets heavy quick. So yeah, it's a handful on the side of a mountain when you're trying to climb certain rocks or something. I never had any issues except for once in the mud, which, you know, I'll talk about that when we get to that point. But you get the idea. It's a giant dirt bike, basically. Badass dirt bike. It's a lot of fun. It's meant for adventure riding. It's meant for riding off-road or on-road and living off of the bike, which is exactly what we used it for. So with that being said, we have a bunch of aftermarket upgrades. I'm not going to get too much into them, but I had a cell phone. I had a charger right here with USB, which is 4 amps per outlet. So that thing charges up quick. I had a GPS. I have a steering dampener, which helps with head shake, which I don't, it's whatever. 2 gas tanks on the front here, which is 2 gallons each, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, but it also has a extra gas tank back here that my dad put on as aftermarket, and that's just in case you get out in the middle of nowhere and you just really need that extra gas. Or if there's sometimes you plan a trip, it's just you can't find a gas station for a couple of days, and that's just the way it goes. Our trip, we didn't need that. I never even used the rear gas tank. I filled it up just for a backup, especially if we need to start a fire or something and it was raining. Which we did once, but I didn't use it. Again, we'll get into that later. This is where my tank bag goes. It just zips on. And I use this quite a bit. I'll get more into this here in a minute when I go inside, and I'll show you the details. The panniers. These are the panniers. There's 2 of them. And they kind of like rest on there, and then you bolt them on. I crashed once and knocked it off. And I'll show you how I fix that when I get to that point in the video. But for now, just know that these are boxes that carry extra gear. They're mostly waterproof. They're not perfect, but they do a pretty good job. And this one, I just have a ton of stuff that I didn't use. An extra GPS. I got an extra sleeping bag cover that goes over in case you get wet or it gets too cold. Extra tube repair kit. I got an extra tube. Stink bite kit / health, first aid, whatever. That's a very real possibility that you'll need this. Well, pretty much all this stuff. It's all stuff that I never ended up using, which is a good thing. But it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So yeah. But in this one right here, I mostly just took all my clothes, my shoe, extra ninja slippers, which I'll show you those later. Got an extra lock, which I didn't need. This one's got an alarm. Didn't really need that. So that one's pretty straightforward. This is I had a waterproof bag. Let me fix my ISO here. So I have a waterproof bag that was on here, and that had all my camping gear, and it was starting from like right here up to about here. And it was yellow, waterproof, sleeping bag, sleeping mat, tent, and all that stuff is just like the best stuff you can possibly get. The lightest, the nicest, the waterproof. I mean, it costs a lot of money for that stuff, but when you're camping out on top of a mountain and it's lightning and thundering and raining and sleeting and snowing and it's 30 degrees, you want the absolute best camping gear that you can trust. That's self-standing. You don't have to worry about it collapsing on you and getting you wet. So I'm not going to get into what I actually have, but if you want to know, like put in the comments, ask me or something, but I'm not really going to get into it because it's not that important. Plus, you'll probably see it from the videos. You can kind of figure out what I've got. This pannier, I had a DJI Mavic, jumper cables, another tire stuff. I have tools underneath the seat. But I had a Mavic, had a charger for my drone batteries, just random crap in here. So extra chargers, extra cables, all kinds of stuff. But between these 3 bags, or 4 bags technically with that up there, I didn't really need all that space. And next time I'll probably try and change stuff around. And what I'll do is I'll end up losing my backpack and then putting that stuff in here. In fact, this one I actually did have 3 extra quads, 3 extra race quads. I only ever ended up using 2 of them. I broke one arm in one of them. Instead of fixing it, I just went ahead and go to the next one. I regret doing that because the second one had issues with the flight controller, and the third one needed some work, so I didn't really mess with any of it. I should have just taken 2 and been done with it. So anyway, that's basically it for the bike. All right, so these are the boots I wore, knee braces. This is the yellow bag that was in the back. Unfortunately, the very last day, this kind of drooped over. It kind of got loose, and then it got into the exhaust, which ruined my tent and this bag. This bag's expensive, and the tent was expensive. That sucks. But at least it was the last day, and I didn't need to rely on that bag anymore for camping in it. So just more gear. One of the things I meant to say was also my cold weather gloves got ruined. Cold weather gloves are imperative for riding. Luckily, we have heated grips, so that helps. But I ruined my cold weather gloves. The rain, the sleet, the snow, and we got that on the last 2 days, and that sucked. Alright, so this is running a little long, so I'm going to make it quick. Mavic, this one in the pannier. I hate this stupid thing. This is just a 24 to 105 f4 lens that I used with this camera. This is my tent bag, which I had, and this is what I probably use the most for charging. It's just a 32,000 milliamp hour USB charger. All 3 ports charge at 2.4 amps. This thing is awesome. Yeah, mostly just camera. This camera went in here. I had a selfie stick, which I used for the brushless gimbal. An extra sleeping bag thing that you throw over your sleeping bag to warm you up. A lamp for your helmet. I have another waterproof cover that goes on top of this. Just basically a backpack. This charger went inside of there. As far as this goes, my drone stuff, I carried a Strix Tactical Flight Pack. All my SD cards and batteries and stuff went in here. My laptop goes in the back. I mean, if you're not familiar with the Strix Tactical Flight Pack, you can look that up. I'm not going to go over this whole setup, but you know, my laptop went in there. 15-inch MacBook Pro with a case, works perfect. And this backpack comes with a waterproof duck back, which I used every other day, I would say. We got rained on, sleeted on, snowed on. This saved all my electronics. I had 12 flight packs with me, which are 1550 Tattoo HV, 100C HVs. I would have loved to have brought more. I have like 80 of them at home, but I just can't I couldn't carry that much. So again, next time I'm not going to carry a backpack, I don't think. I may carry a backpack just for my laptop, but for all the extra batteries and stuff, it's just too much weight on your back every day for 8 to 10 hours for 8 or 9 days in a row. It's too much. I had, like I said, I had 3 quads. This one I carried on the backpack ready to go with a battery and a GoPro, just always ready to go. I carried the other 3 quads in a pannier, just wrapped around a shirt so they wouldn't bounce around too much and collect dust and metal. Crossfire goes inside this pocket, tools inside this pocket. I had a few of these to check voltage on my packs quickly before I decided to fly up to the top of the mountain. I wanted to make sure my batteries are good. These are also great. Like I said, I have 3 of them for backup USB chargers from flight packs. I never end up having to use that, but these are great for emergency for stuff like that. I also have a hot glue gun and 2 soldering irons in case I needed to fix anything. So these are perfect for that kind of stuff. Electrical tape, prop tools, pack of M3 hardware. You never have too much of this stuff. Extra goggle module just in case. I would have loved to have bring my Clearview, but I just didn't have the room and time for it. So, and then a dynamite all-in-one tool. This thing rocks. So I use this quite a bit. So that's the gist of it there. If you have any further questions or want more details, just shoot a comment and I'll try and answer that as quickly as possible. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. I don't know what else to show you, but there were more things, like I said, that I took that I lost, and half the stuff that I wouldn't take with me again. Just threw it in there. Like I said, I had plenty of room. I could have carried this whole backpack in my panniers probably if I really worked everything out properly. It's hard to decide what you want to take and what you don't want to take, and then you get there on the side of a mountain and you need something and you don't have it. I'd rather have too much in that case. So there you go.